Hello, welcome to Postcards 40, in which we take a light-hearted look at some postcards I bought in Oxfam in Winchester. Now, the first of these, I thought this was the Peterloo massacre in Manchester, but upon closer reflection, it is actually Talpra Magyar, so it's taken in Hungarian. I suppose I could have checked more thoroughly, but I still think it's rather good. I've actually got a book about I was going to say it was about the Peterloo massacre, but I must have moved it. It doesn't matter. This is called Wall Jumpers. This is rather like postcards that you get in cinemas, which, no disrespect to them, very pale colours, contemporary theme, some surrealism perhaps. As you can see, the back has been a bit cut and pasted, but it is from the Hayward Gallery, which I haven't been to for years, but is on the south bank of the Thames. Now, this is very distinctive because so much of it is sky. There we are. It's by Richard Parkes, Bonnington, and it is Sunset in the Pays de Cour. Forgive me, I don't know where that is. I could check. It's from the Wallace collection anyway. The Wallace collection is in London and it's free to get in, which is lovely. And here's a gentleman that's got even more idea about sunglasses than I have, and I sometimes buy sunglasses for a laugh. There you are. And the back is equally, if not more, entertaining. There you are. Let me try and read what it says. It says, Edgar Gratis Postkarten Service, copyright, something in German I can't understand. So, yes, well, here he is again. Gasafi. Now, here's some beauty and elegance. What about that? What is the statue doing? Let's find out on the back. Statue of Arethusa by John Edward Carew in the North Gallery at Pepworth House. Our historic houses contain large and enormous, varied collections of inspirational works of art, including sculptures and other objects. The specialist care and upkeep required is hugely benefited by our supporters' donations. And this is a National Trust card. And there it is, and I think it's rather splendid. I really do like that. Yes. Here's something more traditional, the sort of cards I always snap up. Some galleons. This is a Dutch setting, Dutch East Indiaman and state yacht in light airs. I can't help thinking that's a literal translation of perhaps a line of Dutch, which the National Maritime Museum in Greenwich. I haven't been there, I'm ashamed to admit, for a very long time. This is from the Palace, Pallas, Gallery in London. They're lowering their sails. There you can see. And the sky is not turbulent, not dark, but it is overcast, I would have said. And the little boat, the boats, in fact, they're rowing away from the ships or towards them, the boats. I don't know. No. Anyway, I was quite pleased with that. Now, here's a young lady, as I always say, you wouldn't want to fall out with. It's a very strong countenance, isn't it? Self-awareness is on a high level. If I look on the back to see what this is, she's holding maybe a stole around her, and her head is partially covered. You can see her hair. You can see two big eyes, brown eyes, looking at you, as if to say, I know what I'm about. Let's see what the back says. Quite a bit. A lady in a fur wrap, got that, I suppose, and it is from 1570s, so this is pretty old. It's El Greco, the Greek, and it's oil on canvas from the Sterling Maxwell collection, Pollock House Art Gallery and Museums, Kelvin Grove, Glasgow Museums. I'm not sure. I don't think I've ever been to Glasgow, so I wouldn't have presumed to have gone to the gallery. Yes, she's, I mean, you know, she's quite a girl, isn't she? There we are. This is one of the least exciting cards I've got. It's sort of a family setting, but this picture here, which purports to be their window, clearly isn't. And then you begin to wonder quite what you're looking at anyway. So let's have a look. Television, 3 or 4 chairs, a young man reading a magazine, possibly with no degree of intensity. A washing basket there, and some flowers on the shelf, and some pictures. A view from an apartment, transparency in lightbox, collection of the artist, Goodman Gallery, New York. Cinematographic, I'll say that again, cinematographic photograph. There we are. And it is by Jeff Wall. Well, Mr. Wall, don't call us and we won't call you. That's a bit unkind. Here we have another one from the sort of Dutch Flemish school. Maybe not, because I haven't checked. With a lot of sky. And the sky, unlike the preceding one I showed you, is very turbulent with sort of mashed potato clouds. On the left, windmills. On the right, yachts. And closer to us, trees. And some very beautiful, presumably autumnal colours, which contrast with the white clouds. And a few birds, which are clustered above the windmills. I really like it. It's not the clearest of pictures, but then again, that's presumably the effect that the artist wanted. Now, this is by Jacob van Risdell. And it's a panoramic view of the Amstel looking towards Amsterdam. And they're not certain when it was done, but it's 1675 to 81. So, and it's an oil painting on canvas. And it's been lent by the syndics, so presumably of the Fitzwilliam Museum. That's probably my all-time favourite museum in Cambridge. The exhibition has been jointly organised by the Royal Academy of Arts and the Los Angeles County Museum of Art and Philadelphia Museum of Art. So they really did put their heads together, didn't they? I'll just show you that again because it really is rather splendid. There we are, looking towards Amsterdam. Now here we have something which is so garish it could almost be considered trove. I can't speak French to save my life, but I think that's more or less what you might say. He is, I assume, a knocker, but he may not be. The Green Man on the Nave Crossing Ceiling. He's not a knocker. It's from Rochester Cathedral in Kent. And it is a good old name, Judges of Hastings card. And they even take the trouble to put their telephone number in, which is rather nice. There he is. What can we see? He's biting something which has been in his mouth. You can see his tongue and his teeth. And on his head, a crown of maybe fir cones. Forgive me, I'm not quite sure. What do you think? Fir cones, do you think? Across the top? Maybe these are branches. Yes. He looks pretty wild, doesn't he? Devilish. Yes. If you've had your head cut off, you'd think like this. So from something garish to something very subtle. Appearing out of the gloaming, a lady. She's in red. And she's clasping her hands together. Almost, I was going to say desolation, but that's far too strong a word. But she's praying, but she's perhaps collecting her thoughts. Let's see what it says on the back. This is by Gwen John, and it gives her dates 1876 to 1939. It's a young woman in a red shawl, done in about 1920, oil on canvas. It's from the York City Art Gallery. So, yes. She's pleasantly subtle. I'm not sure why this area has been left blank. It's almost as if the attribution has been missed off, though I'm not sure it has. No, it hasn't, but it's just a slightly different way of doing it. Here's a card I think I've shown before, but it's found its way into this collection. It's of the British Library, the entrance to it, or one of the entrances, perhaps I should say. And those are the gates. Sir Eduardo Paolozzi's statue of Newton after Blake, seen through the entrance, well, I've got that bit right, if nothing else, gates to the British Library at St Pancras. And the photograph was taken about 20 years ago and printed in England. And it is a British Library card. I would have bought that. Most of my cards I don't buy, where I buy, from charity shops and stuff. But this one I did get when I was there. And this is a card from my friend Dave Prees. And it's a young lady on the beach in Bournemouth in 1882. And it's oil on canvas. And the artist's name is Henry Scott Tuke. I'll spell that Tuke. I have to be honest, I've never heard of him, but that's just maybe. She appears to be lost in thought. I'm not sure that she's got a pen in her hand, but she might have. There we are. I'll show you again. It could be quite a blustery day, in which case she's in serious danger of losing her hat. This is called June and is by Eric Revilius. There's been a run of interest in Revilius's work and an exhibition currently on. I speak in March 2022 in Winchester Library, which is probably called Winchester Discovery Centre now, which is just down from the station. So if you have any interest in his work, I hope that you do, that's where to go. It's a wood engraving, 12 months by Nicholas Breton, Golden Cockerel Press. It is from the exhibition The Art and Design of Eric Revilius. As I never tire of saying, I played a relation of his at chess in a chess tournament about 25 years ago. And anyway, there we are. This is nothing to do with chess. His name was Chris Revilius. This is from the Oxfam Music Shop in Reading. It's just a flyer. I still like it. There we are. That's something for getting clothes online. oxfam.org.uk/shop. Terms and conditions apply, it says. Now here's something I ought to put up at work. And there's me. I want chocolate. And I want it now. Yes, well. There we are. On the other side, it's from Hallmark, which is a shop that sells greetings cards. I can't pretend I go in there very often, but you see them, and you might pop in, mightn't you? There you are. This is from my interest in churches, mostly the outside church. It's St Michael's Church, Baddesley, Clinton. Perhaps that's Baddesley, Clinton, Warwickshire. Somewhere I will obviously never go, but it's rather nice that it's, in a way, the trees are all part of it. I'd love to say what's on the ground here. It might be bluebells. It's hard to see. In fact, it's not hard to see. It's, I say at mine, it's nigh on impossible. What do you think, bluebells? Well, as I say, it's St Michael's Church. If anybody is a parishioner or has been there, perhaps they could tell us. Nice card though, isn't it? Here's something I got from the Pitt Rivers Museum in Oxford. It's a wooden head mask with open work headdress from the Cameroon, made in 1930, used at mortuary ceremonies and other ritual occasions amongst the Bamenda. Such masks are worn on top of the head, with the face and body disguised. Not shown. And as I say, it was from the Pitt Rivers Museum in Oxford, a very interesting ethnic museum. And not that easy to find. And the last card, 2 flowers. This is from the Queen's Gallery of Buckingham Palace. And there's chromanthemums. That's what they say in Monty Python. Chromanthemums. and it's taken in, it was painted in 1908, and Fabergé. In fact, the artist was Fabergé, I don't know. Yes, it must be. Sold to support the Royal Collection, and it is printed in Great Britain. I'll show you it again. It's worthy of a frame. It's rather nice. In sharp relief. There we are. Well, that's it. This has been Postcards 40. I'm James Pratt.